After so many years, it's finally here, and somehow it came before GTA 6, which is just surprising at this point. The new Bring Me the Horizon record, Gen X. Now, I checked this entire record out at midnight when it came out, and we had a fun time. I had a little too much fun. Got a little too spicy during that one. I didn't want to just do a review right then. I wanted to, wake up and listen to the record, because I don't think the second half of the record at that point I actually could listen to. It was... yeah, we was gone. It was a party. Also, all of the reactions and stuff are going to be coming later during this week, but I really just wanted to get an album review out after listening to it properly. And yeah, this is a absolutely wild record. It definitely didn't come, in terms of 4 EPs in 1 year, but you know what? We're here. Let's go, okay? Also, did you know that 47% of you aren't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell. Come hang out. We do fun metal things. Ew. Starting with OST Dream Seeker.
Let's begin.
Again, it is the starter of the record. It's just 20 seconds, and it's a simple, loading up video game type thing. It seems like even thematically, they really wanted to keep it like OG 2000s nostalgic in terms of this album, but also kind of millennial / zoomer, and remember the good times when you launched a PlayStation. And we're launching next gen, so let's go. And the actual first track is Utopia. Now, this is a little bit of a surprising start, I think, to the record, because it's a very feelsy, emo song, which definitely fits the theme of what they were going with the emo record from Bring Me. It's just kind of vibey, and it doesn't have a crazy amount of energy. A little bit Deftonesy for sure, but the chorus is actually pretty massive and very cool in terms of rhythmic phrasing when it comes to the vocals. It's fun and it's different. It's just a bit of a surprising launch to the record, considering they're such an energetic band, and this is more like a chill, good times, like summer walk by the lake kind of song. But it's very well done, and it's great. Next, we have one of my personal favorites, Kool-Aid. This track probably has my favorite chorus from the entire record, because it is just so damn catchy. It's very synthetic and huge. It sounds like the track that's the most that would have been on the last Posthuman album when it comes to any of the other tracks. It's a very well done track. It's very Bring Me. It has the new metal, Linkin Park kind of elements here and there, but it also has just random just cool heavy rars. It has a random necrophagist solo too. Solid. Respect. And this is a song that is much more okay, Bring Me. It is a little less on the emo side though, but this is definitely solid. We get to 10 statues that cried blood with the funniest font. I don't know why someone's caps lock stopped working, but we're gonna figure that the out, I guess. Now, this track is a really cool mixture of Killswitch Engage meets, it's 2000s emo, not necessarily pop punk, but a bit of that kind of just 2000s thrown in there. Again, a very happy, summery vibe, and it actually features RJ Passon. I hope I didn't mess up his name, which you guys probably saw from TikTok. He's the guy that does the sample this, and it's these really cool, glitchy cut up, zoomer emo core kind of riffs. They're fun, and it's so cool because as soon as I heard the actual part he plays, I didn't know he was in the song. I was just like, is that the RJ guy? I was a little drunk when I said that too. This is probably the closest song to Lost. It's its counterpart, it's part 2 Homie, because it also has this very glitchy, hyper pop, happy sounding breakdown. And yeah, it's a fun track. Again, it leans more to what I thought the EP / now an album was actually going to turn out to be. Next, we're taking a ride on a white pony. I didn't wear that shirt intentionally, should I? With Limousine. Now, it's instantly, boom, you are hit with Deftones. There's no escaping it. But the thing is, they're not really hiding it. It sounds like Deftones. And I know a lot of people were also comparing this to Mood Ring with their track Wave. Which, in terms of, again, I've done enough analysis comparing band and songs and copy passes to each other. I'll make this very simple. They both copy Deftones. In terms of these two being similar, yeah, it's there in terms of the da-do-do, but that's not really a unique riff in itself. And sure, the Chino ambient vocals on top, they're both just Deftones. It's fine. But moving past that, the actual riff is massive, and the chorus is massive. It is a nice refresher for the album, and it's different. I mean, it has these very very chill verses. And then there's the feature that I think a lot of people expected to be the Billie Eilish because of all the like little teasers and leaked whatever, but it ended up being Aurora, which she does a nice job and adds this cool, I don't know, sad girl popability element to the track, which fits very nicely. And the ending of the track is solid because it has this very like boom, you know, just like whammy pitched, very, very modern metal kind of breakdown to tie it together. This is probably one of the best tracks on the record, but it is also probably the most like, okay, like it's Deftones. Like, it's not necessarily unique, but it is a really, really good song. Then we go into the dark side. This track, I put very simply, the best chorus on the record in terms of the catchiest chorus on the record, not necessarily my favorite. Easiest replayability song, but it's not necessarily something super special. It's just a very, very catchy, good, less than 3-minute song with a ginormous chorus, and you can tell the song was written around the whole chorus. No complaints, just not like a, oh my God, something new and wild here. It's just, okay, Bring Me probably could have wrote something like this in 2017 and I'd be happy to. And now we going back to the good old Underoath scene core, emo core scene days with A Bullet With My Name on it. Oh, sorry, A Bullet With My Name on. Again, the keyboard stopped working when we were entering distribution. I don't know what happened. Now, this track features Underoath, and like I grew up with Chasing Safety. Like, I love that record and I love that era of music. This is one of my favorites from the record, no doubt, because it just aces that sound, that 2000s sound, the post-hardcore emo sound, and it features Underoath and aces Underoath basically. Like, it's obvious they're wearing their influence very close to their sleeve here. They got the band themselves. It just sounds like a song that could have been off of Chasing Safety or what's Define a Great Line. Like, it perfectly does that, and I feel like there's a lot of bands trying to emulate that sound that like kind of get there almost, but this is just like, wow, this straight up could have been off the Underoath record. And it's kind of an ironic track too. It's funny because, you know, they were a bit of a Jesus core band back in the day, and this is the song, of course, that has the line, and if Jesus Christ returns, we'll just kill that twice. All right, there's the Twitter poster that made everyone pissed off. There you go. Underoath says it. I think they ace it. The breakdown during this is solid too. Yeah, it's just a very good throwback 2000 song. Oh my God. And with this track too, the end with the gunshot sample that I went wild over on stream because I knew it was just like the splice sample that as soon as you type gunshot, it was at the top. It's the first gunshot sample. It's so cheesy, but it's fun and really fits the vibe of this just obviously kind of like 2000s post-hardcore Underoath worship track. Next we have Sleep Token OST. Yeah, this song basically just sounds like Dark Signs. It's actually called Spiritual, but like it's Dark Signs at the beginning, and then it evolves to this very modern. Again, like I want to use the few of these Zoomer kind of rap artists that are going around now in terms of like these these riffs with like recorded with like a pod farm with like a trap beat. It's very like Yeet / Playboy Cardi, which is cool to hear that influence in, you know, a record that is by Bring Me. It's a cool experiment track. It's a vibe, which like most of the OST songs are. And then we get into NA. Now this track is kind of a bit of a Weezer worship with a weird Loathe type bridge. It's not, you know, really one of my favorite tracks from the record at all. I think it's decently done. I'm surprised they could blend Weezer with a Loathe type beat. They somehow managed to do it. The chorus is fine. You know, it has the ooh-ahs and all that, but out of all the other tracks on this record, it's kind of just, it just goes by. And then we get Lost. Now, when they released this single out of all of the ones before Strangers and Die For You, I was probably most excited about the album as soon as this track dropped because it felt like Bring Me energy with the synthetic element and the huge synths, but it was the emo 2000s elements I think they were trying to ace, and also had like a bit of a heavier moment with like a hyperpop breakdown. So I was like, oh, okay, if the record's like this, like we're good to go. So Lost, I think, is probably the best middle ground representation of this entire album, and it's a very fun track, and they actually blend the hyperpop with the weird breakdowns and all that. I gotta give them credit. They do it very well. Strangers. Now this song does have a massive chorus. You know, we're just a room full of strangers. Guys, I'm not a singer, chill, okay? I think out of the singles, I didn't mind it. It was cool because it had the post-hardcore elements. I like it. And it also has a bit of like a post-hardcore, like bridge / breakdown, like riff down kind of thing going, which again, reminds me a bit of Underoath and all of that, even though the other track on this album, you know, the Bullet song is like literally acing Underoath. I think it's a pretty good track. It's a little bit annoying with some of the purposeful, like intense, like auto-tune on purpose, right? Obviously everything uses auto-tune. This is not a debate of that, but like this is one of those where they used it as like a creative choice, and it's a bit like like annoying to some point. This is more like kind of like a track I'd see like in like a Twilight film or something like that, but it's cool. It's a big anthem, you know, respect. Rip Pale Dusk. Okay, now Dad Eye from Pale Dust actually works on a lot of these tracks from the record, which is really sick. He's credited in a bunch of them on Spotify as well. And this is by far, you can tell, the one that is like, you hear his influence so much. There's so much glitch core with cool beats and these happy synthetic riffs. The chorus in the song is also very huge, just like a lot of songs in this record. Yeah, I like Pale Dust, so I like this song. It doesn't necessarily sound super bring me, but I think they blended it pretty well. And now for my favorite off the record. I mean, obviously, Amen. This track, along with Kool-Aid, again, feels like the most previous post-human survival horror track, which I really loved that EP. And this song's particularly because it's so aggressive. It has so much energy. It's almost nonstop screaming, and then it has this ginormous, epic-sounding chorus, whereas a lot of the other choruses on the record sound, again, emo, sad, and they're very good sing-along choruses. This one, I feel like, is the most epic stadium, like, oh my God, this is happening kind of thing. And it features, again, Lil Uzi Vert, as well as Daryl from Glassjaw. And the features are weird, but fit really perfectly. The aesthetic they went for in terms of the video and even how they play this at download was just so massive and huge. I love this track. This is my favorite off the record. Ace, thank you. It also is probably the heaviest, but it's bagger. What do you want? Pussy. Honestly, guys, I can't believe I listened to this song first being as gone as I was, because there's no way this song it's just dum dum da dum da dum da dum dum. It's just, it feels like you're stuck in a computer that's malfunctioning. Weird track. I can hear it being like a weird interlude when they play live, just like when they set up another song or like an intro song. Cool. It's just fucking confusing, but pussy, bro. Then we dying. I'd bleed for you, know that I'd bleed for you. Now this is a track that is, I'm surprised was still actually on the record considering how old it is at this point, but it is the most pop punk emo song on the record, definitely kind of capitalizing on during that weird pop punk MGK moment. It is probably my least favorite from the singles, but like I get it. It fits the vibe. It's a fine song. It has a huge chorus that I can see is very, you know, relevant maybe to like younger people that would sing with it. It's definitely sad. This is definitely like that type of track you'd have on your iPad or shuffle or playlist in like middle school or something that you played and you were like, damn, life hard, brother. And I think they ace it. Now the album closer, Dig It. Honestly, one of the most beautiful, emotionally captivating tracks on the entire record. Structurally, it is very similar to kind of what Sleep Token do in terms of this big anthemic start with electronics and singing, and it's very raw and powerful and synthetic at the same time. And it builds with electronic drums, and then the guitars and band come in, and then it gets heavy at the end, which is a nice closer. Even though then there's 2 minutes of silence, which, dude, when I was gone at this point, it was so confusing live. I thought like my computer exploded. It ends with a little like, you know, Siri coming back to come hang out and be like, cool, come play more games with me kind of thing. It's a great album closer. It's very sad. It has one of my favorite choruses on the record too. And yeah, I think when I was drunk, I said, bro, all I need a hug, man. Like, I got you, dude. Like, it's really sad. It is the most sad boy, sad girl song on the entire record by far. It's a nice closer, and yeah, it really puts everything together. Now, my thoughts overall on this record, I think for how long people waited, it's good that we got 16 songs. They definitely went for the emo vibe with a lot more of a zoomer, modern element to it, which I don't think many bands have done. Usually if they just go for emo, it's just 2000s emo, and they kind of just have modern mixing, but not really modern production. So I think Bring Me Ace that, as well as the other tracks that are more like, again, survival horror in terms of like Kool-Aid and Amen, and Limousine being the fun little Deftones zoomer twist. It's not necessarily like super emo, but yeah, I mean, it fits, I guess. The OST parts are vibe. They're interesting. They're there. It does feel like some of the album feels a bit like it was kind of rushed. Like some tracks feel like a very, very polished, drawn out, and like there's a lot of cool elements, and some tracks do feel a bit more just okay. Like that happened. It's emo and it's 2000s. Like respect. Like it sounds good. But I think some of the other tracks feel like they've been given a bit more, I guess, love, and have these more big anthemic feels that you could hear in a stadium, but also can relate to someone just listening, you know, that's in high school or something, or like in college or middle school, just on their iPod and just being like, yo, check out this new banger. Like it goes hard. No real complaints. Fun heavy moments. I wish there was a few more heavy moments considering how good like Amen and Kool-Aid heavy moments are. There wasn't really that many more besides those, and like maybe the song like Limousine, the ending of that. But yeah, solid emo track. I think they aced what they were trying to go for. And yeah, can't wait for the deathcore album. I mean, I don't know, 2075 at this point. Bring me the music. You did. It's here. Thank you. All right, bye.